What's up, everybody? Hope you're all staying safe and healthy. Big thanks to everybody out there on the front lines, all the essential services out there that are doing the hard jobs, while the rest of us just do the easy thing and sit at home and wait out the storm. To everybody out there, I just hope that you're making the most of this time and following the rules that they're laying out for us, so we can get through this. Up next, I got Jamie Tieche. I've known Jamie for a couple years now. We've had a ton of conversations in the marketing sphere. I've always enjoyed talking to Jamie, and this conversation was no different. I am pleased to announce that, or I shouldn't say announce, it's nothing so official yet, but that me and Jamie will probably start doing something more regular in terms of chats specific to marketing. So I'm really looking forward to that. But first and foremost, I really hope that you guys appreciate this conversation as much as I did. This was an awesome talk, and I'm glad that I get to share it with you, and I'm looking forward to doing this again with Jamie. So thank you, and enjoy the chat. Hey, what's up, everybody? I got Jamie here. Excited to talk some marketing with him. But first, I will let him introduce himself. Jamie, why don't you tell us about yourself?
Sure, Devin. First, thanks for having me, man. This is exciting. I love what you're doing with this. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jamie Tieche. I wear a couple hats in town. Primarily, I am the finance and insurance manager at Woodstock Chrysler. I have been here for almost 2 years now. And the other hat that many of you might know me from is a digital marketing business that I've been running for the past 8 or 9 years. Initially, it was a full-time gig. But as things change, it's taken sort of a backseat recently since this opportunity at Chrysler. But yeah, primarily I'm a digital marketer. I love sales, and between the two, it keeps me busy.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So the dealership is shut down right now, I assume,
It
or
is, even though
to the
I'm
public.
here in my office right now, the dealership is closed. I'm the only one here. But yeah, due to the unforeseen circumstances we're under right now, our sales department and service have been closed this is going on 3 weeks now.
Yeah.
And, we're hoping to open up our service side, I think, on Monday, but that's not for sure. We're in talks, because the service side is an essential business. Sales, on the other hand, we've been doing some digital sales, like, taking a new approach to that, but it's definitely slowed down, and we're just all hoping, to do our part to kind of get through this.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think we're all kind of just in wait and see kind of mode right now, and not much of this is
100%.
in our control, aside from kind of doing nothing. But
Absolutely.
on the marketing side, what have you seen the last couple weeks? Has it petered out, or is it picked up for you?
Like I was saying to you prior, like right before we started this, it's been an interesting time for myself with regards to my digital marketing focus, and that my phone's been ringing more now in the last couple of weeks for marketing, like potential marketing business, than it has in the last year. And I think a lot of that is, obviously businesses, a lot of these local brick and mortars, their hands are tied right now, and they don't know what to do or where to turn or how to bring their goods and services to their customers, when they don't have that physical location. So it poses a whole new opportunity for tons and tons of businesses out there. And something I've been saying off and on is that opportunity. What is the saying? Opportunity is born of necessity, right? Yep. So we're in a position right now where we have to pivot or go out of business. We have to explore new ways of dealing with our customers, reaching our customers, providing our goods and services to our customers, or else we'll just fall by the wayside. So this has been an extraordinary time for businesses and marketing and advertising for a number of reasons. Like you have 50% of businesses are scared and they're holding back, and sorry, my phone's ringing.
You said it's been going
Uh,
off.
yeah, it has. And that's actually one of the clients I'm working with right now. But um, it half the companies or businesses are shying away because obviously these are uncertain times and they don't know
Financially.
what's, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, like I posted something in my business group the other day about, advertising costs, like Facebook ads, the cost per thousand
Go
impressions
down.
has, yeah, dropped almost 30% in the last month. Right. So you can get, double the bang for your buck if you're advertising, and when you do that, you have to be very cognizant of what your message is, right? You don't want to do it distastefully, but there is an opportunity there. So, while a lot of the businesses are holding back, it creates an opening and a lane for those businesses that want to capitalize. And by capitalize, I just mean like build more brand, get more exposure, gain more awareness, and build more trust with people that you might not have been
Yeah.
able to reach before, right?
Yeah, that was my first thought when you were talking there about being sensitive to the situation. Of course, it's not, I don't really feel all that comfortable in doing some of the more traditional marketing at the moment, just in terms of, you know, trying to tell people that it's the best time to list or sell a house. It's not the best time to
Right.
leave your home right now. So
Right.
we're finding ways to make sure that the job can get done if it needs to get done.
Hmm.
But I don't know if I'd feel right with doing that on the branding and the type of content, like almost this type of content. I feel much better because my hope is just to provide value, not just to
Yeah.
people listening and watching, but also to you in terms of, putting you on and letting, some of my audience just engage with who you are. And maybe you pick up another couple of clients and that would feel pretty good to me.
Right.
I did notice that the prices went down with Facebook. I see a lot of
Hmm.
people just tightening up the reins, and maybe because they can't or not in a position to actually service their clients, whether that be because of their industry or because they haven't put themselves in a position to work in a non-physical environment with whether it be e-commerce for
Right.
product side or some other way of from some there's various services that are being able to continue to operate without the human to human or contact because they have innovated. And that was one thing talking with Ryan Smith from Power Garage the other day. He said, this is a lot of stuff that we actually wanted to do. We wanted to do some of this stuff, the
I'm hearing
tours of,
that too. Yeah.
and this is kind of a chance for us to do some of this stuff that, we've been saying is a good idea for a year or two now, but because of the day to day, hustle, it's just
Hmm.
not always in the cards to get it done.
Absolutely. Like what I noticed right away was the increase in video, like social videos. Like every business, like dance studios were doing, online classes, and everyone was now experimenting with Facebook video and Instagram video. And this is something like, if you've had your finger on the pulse at at all over the last few years, like video, everyone's saying do video, but so many people have been so hesitant to embrace it.
Mm-hmm.
And now all of a sudden, now that there's no other alternative, I love seeing people coming out of their comfort zones and
Yeah.
exploring these new mediums to get their message out there.
Well, I
Exciting.
even I even think that just in terms of the comfort level, it's going to improve because people are actually just having to interact over video in the first place.
Mhm.
How many times in the
Right, like
last
what we're doing right here, right now.
exactly, but we're not. People aren't just doing this for business now. People are doing this because they want to talk to their parents or their grandkids. We talk about a lot of times people will say stuff like, well, my demographic, and I'm not talking about my personal demographic, I'm talking about maybe the 60 and over demo. They don't do this, or they need me to do things this way, which is anti-technology. And I don't agree with that in the first place. But even if you would say that that was true, you're coming into a time where they're learning how to do it. They're now sitting there going, I'll learn how to FaceTime if it means that I can see my grandkids.
Like bridging the gap, right? Like there was always this gap between like the tech savvy people and the non-tech savvy people. And now there's no other option, right? Like everyone's having to embrace technology a little more to get through this time.
Yeah.
And obviously that bleeds through into the marketing space, but it's, yeah, I've noticed, I've seen a lot of great stuff, man. And it's an inspiring time. Like it's a challenging, trying time, but seeing businesses and being able to help on the front lines, like I have with so many local businesses, whether it's building e-commerce shops or consulting on how to use platforms like social media and like Facebook and Instagram better. People are inquiring about, what types of content are going to work and get me the most bang for my buck quickly. You know, I'm torn. Like I'm devastated, but I'm inspired at the same time, right? And it's got me back in the marketing space temporarily, which is fulfilling and great for me.
Yeah, and I think initially I was, I kind of felt the same way. You can be torn for a bit, and you can be, I'd say down, just down overall. But how you can't stay there forever into that place of, this sucks for us, and
Right,
and
right.
uh, and it's the situation is the situation, and the only thing we can really do is to not see people, but that doesn't really stop us from doing a lot of other things. And so when
Right.
I realized that, I was like, well, then I'll do this. I've been wanting to do this type of stuff for a while. I've
Mhm.
literally written out a list of people that I wanted to contact to get on, and I'm like, well, I'll just start contacting them. They're all sitting at home not doing anything. So and like I said, I think this is my eighth one you're the eighth person that I've gotten on here, and more people that want to come on next week, and it just gave this is the time we have, and so you sit around
Right.
twiddling your thumbs and complaining, or you do something about it. So that was my
That's the
take
other
anyway.
thing. Like everybody, if there's one thing we have an abundance of right now, it's time, right?
Hmm.
And when
Yep.
you're a business owner and your livelihood depends on connecting with people, on any level, you know, taking advantage of this opportunity is a must,
For
right?
sure. For sure.
So
um,
whatever it is.
yeah, no, I mean, absolutely, I couldn't agree with you more. So just going back, how'd you get into the marketing side? How'd you get into the auto industry? um, what's the story there?
um, so my ties to the auto industry go back to my father, actually. Like I grew up in a car family. So my dad was in the auto industry before I was even born. Like he spent 30 plus years um, at a couple dealerships selling and managing and doing different roles at dealerships. So as a kid, like I remember dealership Christmas parties and, always, having like, you'd have new Cadillacs and new demos. And it was an interesting upbringing. And then I found myself getting into, right out of high school, my dad got me a job at one of the dealerships that he used to work at. And I was just doing like the lot attendant kind of detail thing. I did that for a year and a bit after high school. Um, and then I went to college for computer foundations and business marketing. So got some education. This is back in 2002, if I'm dating myself. So this is pre the real big internet boom. So I have a background in traditional marketing, a
Hmm.
formal background in that, which is nice. It complements the digital side. But
Hmm.
I'm part of that generation that sort of rode the wave as the internet came in.
Yeah.
And from there, I traveled a bit and ended up out in Vancouver, actually. Lived there for a few years. And I went out there to kind of snowboard for a season. That was just like my thing. I was in my mid 20s and I was like, I'm just going to go, I'm just going to like, snowboard and do the Whistler thing. And I didn't end up doing that actually because I ran out of money really quickly and I had to get a job.
Vancouver,
So,
not that cheap.
so I went up and down number 3 road in Richmond and I applied at a bunch of dealerships actually. And I got a job at a Richmond Subaru, which was an auto dealership there. I actually got a job detailing cars. Like it was like a start the next day thing. And I was like, yeah, man, I'll take that. It'll give me money to get me to the mountain. And the second day I was doing that, the owner happened to walk by, and him and I got chatting, and he actually offered me a job in sales. And he was like,
Just
when can you start?
one day.
Yeah, he was like, you ever sold cars before? Have you, do you have a background in sales? I'm like, no, my dad did. I have a good idea what it's about. And he's like, do you want to, try your hand at that? So I said, sure, why not? He said, when can you start? And I said, as soon as you give me a paycheck, because I got to buy a suit. He gave me his credit card and he said, go get yourself a couple suits and I'll see you at the showroom floor tomorrow. So that was my foray into auto sales. And I did that for about a year and a half before some life events brought me back to Ontario. And then I worked at Guelph Hyundai. So I stayed in the sales thing, went over to Guelph Hyundai. And this is when I really got into the marketing space. So the digital marketing space. What happened there was they didn't really have an online presence. And this is 2010, 2011.
And so you needed one at
And
that point.
they needed a Facebook page. They needed an updated website. They needed this and that. And so I volunteered. I was like, let me give it a go. And that was really how I learned about the inner workings of social media right from the ground up, and building websites right from the ground up. And, I took that dealership from no online presence to a huge email list, a good social following, got a website up where we could list inventory really easily and produce blog content and such. And then I just really embraced the digital marketing side. So I went from sales there to digital marketing manager. And from there, I started my first agency, which was called Socialize Inbound Marketing. So helping local businesses create content that would bring people to their brand and generate leads and sales. And, that was 2013 when I started that company. And it's gone through a couple iterations since then, but primarily now I do mostly consulting with a few choice clients. I do get my hands dirty with web design any chance I get because I love it. And yeah, I mean, that's sort of how I went from, that's my whole story pretty much.
That's
and
it
then
right
Wood
there.
kind of came along. They were a client of mine for about a year and a half. And then they had an opening in the business office, which is something I always wanted to try because I've done the detail service thing. I've done the sales thing. What I didn't really get to try out was the business office. So when this opportunity came around, I really like the dealership. I like the people here. So it was a consistent income, which is nice coming from a self-employed situation with two young kids. There's highs and lows, right? It's a lot of work, a lot of stress, a lot of obligation. So it was nice to take a bit of a break and get into a role where with a more consistent income, more consistent hours. And, now I'm sort of merging the two with marketing and sales, and it's really nice. So
Nice.
yeah, I'd say in a nutshell, that's my story, but that's a pretty good recap.
Well, that's pretty short. That's what we're here for, right? So
Yeah.
so you got into the marketing. I mean, you're a little bit in college there, which I mean, I took some marketing in university, and you learn some of the. I'd say you learn some of the broad stroke techniques, but I always felt that anything that I was learning was already a year, 2 years, 5 years
Yeah.
out of date, because things have changed so much in the last. I mean, every day. I mean, there's a new platform every year. There's at least one new platform that comes along that deserves your attention. And I mean, that's one of the things I like most about it. But what is it for you? I mean, what about marketing for you that keeps your motor running?
It's the servicing the customer. Like you meet the customer where they want to be met, and you provide them with an avenue to get to your products and service. Like I believe in customer service more than anything. It sounds cliche and cheesy, but like whatever business you're in, you're really there to service and serve the customer as best you can. So I think marketing is just that bridge between what you have to offer and how you get it to the customer and how you get the customer to you. And it's marketing is building that bridge, and you can construct that bridge any way you want, right? whether it's with a website and a blog or a TikTok channel. It really doesn't matter, right? There's so many opportunities and angles you can play, and I just love every aspect of it. It's a huge passion of mine, and there's so many layers to it, right? From market research right through to execution and implementation. There's never a dull moment, and seeing the results, like when I launch a campaign for a client, whether it's like lead generation or search engine optimization, like I always set notifications to go to my client when they get a new lead, but I also have them come to my phone, because like it's like it's like a dopamine hit every time like I see a lead come through.
It's working. It's working.
Yeah. It's so exciting for me. So even like launching a new website and watching it, the response and how it resonates with the audience, and does it do what it's supposed to do, and how's it performing, and or a Facebook ads campaign where we're generating leads for real estate agents, whatever, right? It's yeah, I don't think there's a cooler industry than marketing.
I think I was saying this to you before we got started. As much as I like, dealing with the people is always fun. It's always interesting, especially when you're dealing with somebody, that's one of my favorite things, that somebody I already have background with, and you already have your little inside jokes and your knowledge of who that person is and what sport team they like or whatever. As much as I enjoy that, right there with it is the marketing side. And it's just because there's so many different things that you can do. It's a place where, especially from like somebody like me that's self-employed, there's no brand that I can hide behind, right? Like what I mean by brand, there's no wall in front of, it's just me to the people, the customers, the clients, which is very vulnerable. It's tough. It's not like the easiest thing to get around for me anyway. Maybe some people, they don't care at all, but at the same time, it's the most fun part, because you can take it whatever way you want. I could sit here and go, let's just fill a Facebook's ad platform with kind of lead gen style ads, or I can put out tons of content and work the brand side of things, or I can do both at the same time. And then it comes down to the numbers and which way do I want to work it from a financial perspective, and where do I want to put my money, behind the brand or behind the immediate sales, and which demographic, which geographic location. There's so many different things you can do that it's fun for me. And actually, that's one of the things that I love about when I take a new listing, because the first thing I do is I sit down and I go, okay, who's going to buy this house? I know where it is, I know what it is, I know everything about that. So I say, okay, what's my target market here? And then I segregate that out. There's probably more than one. Is an investor going to buy it? No, it's too high of a property. I don't think that an investor's going to buy it. It's a 2-story, blah, blah, blah. I don't see somebody that's downsizing buying it. Okay, so I can probably limit it to maybe a higher end first-time home buyer and second-time home buyers. Okay, those people are usually between this age and this age. Are they usually married? Are they usually engaged? Are they, and where are they coming from? Are they coming from Kitchener? Are they coming from the Kitchener way down the 401? Are they coming from down the 403, Hamilton, Brantford, blah, blah, blah. And then you can create ads that are specific to those individuals. And it's like, I can create 30, 40, 50 ads about one listing. And it's just, and then you get to see
if it works, like, and then it's this like recognition thing, and it's just like it's rinse and repeat with every listing. It brings so much depth to every industry, right? Like something like real estate could be considered a dry sort of gig. Like it's very, there is a personal level to it, but there's a lot of behind the scenes paperwork and contracts and really boring stuff. But when you can like bring your own personality into it and bring that to the public, and at the same time build a brand and build a following and earn trust with people, it makes it all of a sudden a sexy industry, a really appealing industry.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like that about it. And it's one of those spots where you get to be yourself too, because
100%.
As you can tell, I'm not sitting here with even a button-up shirt on. It's just, this is I get to I get to do it how I want to do it. I get to talk how I want to talk. I get to talk about the things that I want to talk about. And yeah, some people are going to go, yeah, that guy doesn't wear a suit, I'm not hiring him. Okay, that's potentially out there that it's
Right.
maybe right or wrong. I don't know. Maybe I should just, but somebody else is going to say, yeah, I like him. He's real. He's himself. He talks about the fact that he's a Red Wings fan, even though they're in absolute last place right now. And, and they better get the first overall pick. But, you know, you can take it whichever way you want. And that's what I kind of like too. And try not to just talk about houses.
And I think like as this digital world is evolving, it's like even brands like Pepsi and Coke and Purolator and FedEx, like they're having to peel back the curtain and like find a more personable approach to their marketing, right? They're not going to like have one person represent them, you know, shooting from their basement, you know, whatever. But what you're bringing to real estate, I think it has to happen in every industry, because people are there's so much like the whole fake news movement and like what can we believe, what can we not believe, that authenticity is like the most important thing with your marketing today. And shooting, you know, in a t-shirt from your basement, there's no better way to gain that. Like we didn't script this. We're just kind of flying off the cuff, and it's like, it's just exactly who we are, and it's going to resonate with people, and the people that it doesn't resonate with wouldn't be a good fit for you anyways.
That's exactly.
The people it does resonate with, they're going to be that much further along in trusting you and wanting to do business with you. So it's almost like you just being yourself and putting out this content, you're pre-qualifying your audience without even doing anything. Right.
Yeah.
You're not going to waste time on the phone with 20 people a week to just discover that they're a bad fit. You're going to get 5 phone calls and land 5 clients who trust, like, and adore you and want to do business with you.
That's the hope.
Right.
But
yeah.
And you know what, whether that happens or it doesn't happen, you know, you can still sit here and go, well, I'm still doing what I like to do. I'm still talking with people that I like to talk with, and I'm talking about things that I like to talk about. So it's, you know, worst case scenario, nothing happens.
Right.
Is that so bad? No, it's not that bad. I liken it to the what was it? The Dwayne Wade commercial. Did you see the Budweiser Dwayne Wade commercial?
No, I don't watch much
TV, but I didn't. I've seen it on social. If you ever look it up, it's basically his whole story for like 2.5 minutes. It's pretty cool because it's him and his mom, and you know, this whole thing.
Oh, is it like him growing up? Is there like footage of him from
I
his
think
childhood?
so. Yeah, right after he retired. It was right after he retired.
Okay.
And it goes through this whole thing, and you don't even know what the commercial is about. Like, you can't even tell the whole time. And at the very end, it's like, you know, it ends, and it's almost like this heart-wrenching story. And then it's just like, this Bud's for you. And you look at it and you go, like, that's a big difference between people just cracking beers at a barbecue. And I'm not saying either one's bad, but it's kind of the difference that we're talking about when it comes to the brand play versus just the ordinary sales pitch that just runs by the numbers, and it will work, but it's going to just work like this much kind of thing.
It goes back to storytelling, which is a huge part of content marketing, right? Like, you know, everyone's like, social media is very important, but behind like every piece of social media that you put online, it's content, and it all comes back to content and storytelling, and what is a story that you're telling about you. Like, and these interviews are very much a story about you as a person, as a professional. And you know, that's important today, to make sure that you're telling us an authentic, true story that resonates with people, that you can back up, that you live day in and day out, because you don't know when you're going to run into somebody, and they're you want them to see the same Devin that they saw on the videos that they run into at the cafe, right?
Yeah, and I almost felt like earlier in my career, like especially when I first got in, it was like, hey, I have to be like this whatever this box is.
Sure, yeah,
dressed like, it was just like, I thought that I had to be that. and it wasn't like I was completely not myself. Like I was still, when I would interact with people, I still talk like myself. But I'd have this, I think this anyway, maybe I'm not sure, but you're always just trying to be what you're supposed to be. And I think that that's just like, even in society, like a lot of people try to be what they're supposed to be because somebody else wants them to be it, or you think that you have to be in order to be successful. When in reality, you're probably going to find more success just being yourself. And that's the only person
I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah, that's the only person I'm trying to be right now. It's the only person I really know how to be. I don't want to fake it. So
kudos to you though, because even myself, I'm an advocate for all the things that work online, but I'm too shy to do the video thing, and I'm too preoccupied with other stuff to do the content thing. And it's like, and I know that's stood in the way of my success. You want to practice what you preach. I'm more of like a book smart guy where like I'll read all the data and I'll look at other case studies and other success stories. And, when it comes to me kind of putting it out there, for whatever reason, I don't. And that's just me being honest. It is what it is. But I know what works, and I love seeing people step outside of their comfort zone and do it, even though like I have a hard time doing it myself.
yeah, I don't think it comes easy. I think even seeing myself in this thing right here, it feels really odd. So I just keep looking over at your side, but it's not something that I like. When I pull up video, when I'm doing my post-production, I don't like the way I sound. I don't like the way that it's not like I don't like the way I look. It just looks weird. It's like,
well, we judge ourselves. It's our human nature in our society today. I think there's so many levels to it, but that's the biggest challenge that we all face is just being comfortable in our own skin. And I think once you embrace that, the sky's the limit, but you got to embrace it.
Yeah, you just gotta, the conversations are actually easy. It's putting it out to the world that is a little harder. And
well, I had a call today with a potential client who's starting a new business, and a major component of his marketing has to be video, and he has to be present because he's going to be the brand.
yeah,
And he's like, so what do I do? Do I just like record all these videos on my phone and then publish them over time? And I'm like, no, that's the worst idea. I probably have 100 videos of myself on my phone. You need to just go onto your platform, hit record, and put it out immediately. Do not second guess it. Do not even watch it. Just put it out and deal with it later. And it's funny because that's exactly what you need to do.
Yeah, it's just even things like, I'll just tweak the color grade, and I can do all that, which is fine. I learned how to do it and whatever, which is cool. But at the same time, it's like, it doesn't matter. People are probably going to listen to this. They're probably not even going to watch it. They're probably going to, if they listen at all, they're going to put it on. If they watch it at all, they're probably going to put it on and then, do the dishes while they listen to it. Yeah. I don't know how, I'm not saying people won't watch it, but
we're not much to look at, to be honest.
No, yeah, there's better things on the internet to look at. Hands down than I'm not gonna than me. But, one thing you see coming, marketing wise, any trends that you see coming that you're willing to share for free in the next year or so?
Trends like TikTok is super addictive. I haven't messed around with it, but I can't stop watching it, especially in this like weird quarantine world we live in. So obviously it's just a testament to like the power of video, but I still think live video on Facebook and Instagram have a long way to go. The platforms are still giving exception to those types of content. So I think anytime you can bring your audience behind the scenes with a live video, there's a level of engagement there as well, where you can interact in real time with your audience. They can ask you questions. Like there's so many possibilities, and I don't think it's been done nearly enough. So I think that trend is still yet to peak. Video is still a good means, but to be honest, I haven't had my ear to the concrete as much as I did in the past. But I'm willing to bet that if we just keep moving forward and being a little more comfortable with these new platforms and these new mediums, like there's still a long way up from here with regards to videos and live video. But again, it really depends on your audience too, right? Like who are you trying to reach? Where are they consuming content? Like you can follow trends all day, but if you can find a medium that you're comfortable on, whether it's audio, video, social, whatever, and it matches up to where your audience spends most of their time, like it's a pretty simple equation, right? It's put out consistent content on a platform where your audience spends time, and you'll get the consumption, you'll get the eyeballs, the ears, whatever, you'll get the engagement, and eventually you'll have a tribe that trusts you, likes you, and wants to do business with you.
Yeah, to me, it's becoming to the point of like, yeah, I see all these different platforms, and what I liken it to is, okay, you could have a billboard before, no one, a billboard on a street, and there's different ways in and out of town. Would you just put one on one of the streets, or would you put it on all of them?
Right.
And I think my take on it is you probably put them on all of them, especially when they're free, right? That's the thing about this stuff, is to put a piece of content like this out and not advertise it, not run ads off the back end of it, but just to put it out is free. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, even TikTok, obviously to the tune of a minute, but it's free. So if there's billboards all over town and they're free to put your stuff on, maybe you should. And so, and one's going to do better than the other. I think that each person's probably going to do better in a different area, even LinkedIn, right? And LinkedIn's doing really well these days too.
Yeah. You'll find what works very quickly if you're committed. Like if you're just doing it here and there, like you'll never follow the analytics. You'll never really know what's performing well and why, and you'll never capitalize on that. But if you're committed to succeeding and building that following, like you'll quickly learn that YouTube's the better platform, or LinkedIn's the better platform, and video's the best medium, or photos are the best medium. And you sort of like, you cast a wide net and you kind of figure out what works as you reel in your catch, right? Yeah,
for sure. No, for sure.
But
no, that's awesome.
Yeah. I think digital advertising, like we touched on earlier as well, like, you don't want to blast people right now with sales messages, but if you could quadruple your reach with a real quality message, even these videos, these podcasts that you're doing, like put $20 behind it and reach 10,000 more Oxford County residents with it for $20, right? Like, it's not a bad play.
And then there's this is where I love all the different things, because I hear you say that, and what I was already going to do on the back of the main one, but then you take the small pieces of it that I'm going to be putting out, and I can run ads for them, and then I can run reverse targeting ads off of the views of those back to the big piece.
Yeah.
And there's so many different ways this is the part that I love about it, right?
Yeah.
It's no different than posting a small picture of just the sink, and then anybody that looks at it or engages with it, and then run ads to the
primary listing or whatever.
Well, to another piece or another ad or whatever, to the primary listing after. Not that it wouldn't be included in the first post, but there's so many things like that can be done. And it's just like that you just let your mind go, okay, how can we do this? And ultimately,
it's endless, and it's like once you get a taste of success, and that's why like I keep those notifications on my phone, like because it keeps me motivated. Like this works, because I've had clients in the past that just won't. They just refuse to take my advice, and then we part ways, and it's like it didn't work. Like I invested and it didn't work, and it's like you didn't follow through as you should have. So those little like dopamine hits like just reassure me that
it's like diet. It's like diet and exercise, right? It's no different than you're just gonna weigh yourself every day and keep watching the pounds come off, and it's like, oh yeah, doing really good or whatever. And versus diet and exercise didn't work for me.
Right.
You didn't do it right. So no, I definitely one of the most fun topics. I think that we could literally say, hey, come back on next week. We're just going to talk about this little thing. And
Yeah, I would
it's,
love to do that, as a matter of fact. So
oh, we should. We'll do
whenever
we can
a
do,
spin-off.
we'll do spin-off marketing Mondays or something, and we'll talk about that'd be fun. I'd love to do that. That'd be
Definitely
way too fun. There's so many different, we'd never run out of things to talk about.
No,
It'd
man.
be awesome.
No.
All right, let's have some fun. What's your all-time only show you could ever watch again? Favorite TV show?
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
It is. I haven't watched the whole thing. That show is hilarious, though. It is hilarious.
There's another, like, Seinfeld would be a close second.
They kind of remind me of each other.
But yeah,
Just that. Yeah.
just those. Yeah, that whole, like, that gang, and It's Always Sunny is insane. Like, it's just so much fun.
What about movie? What about your favorite movie all time?
Good question. It used to be Zoolander, and probably
In the
still
computer?
is. Like, I haven't. What is this? A school for ants?
I can't turn left. I can't turn left. Is it left or right?
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever it is.
Left. But yeah, probably Zoolander. I haven't watched it in a while. I'm gonna have to go back and check that out.
I haven't watched that movie in years.
Step Brothers.
In the computer. I watched that the other day, though.
Did you? Yeah.
I saw my own son use a bicycle as a weapon.
Oh man, yeah. That's one thing I've had time for this little break is, watching a lot more TV and movies than I typically would.
Which is a good thing and a bad thing, but
A lot of Disney Channel though, which is driving me insane.
Quinn loves what's it called? The Wiggles.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you've ever watched. Oh my god.
My youngest Ellie, she's not really into the Wiggles, which is nice because Avery really was for a long time. I know it's incessant.
It's tough, and it's the same songs. Every episode's the same songs. It's like, oh goodness.
And you can't help but feel embarrassed for the actors. I don't know why.
A little bit. I don't know why. Yeah,
they're
grown men.
I know.
Like,
and there's some weird stuff going on in the behind the scenes there. I don't know, man. Like, I know two of them are dating or even married for a while. Yeah.
I don't want to know.
Australian celebrities. It's weird.
She loves it though, and she says Wiggles. Okay. We wanted to just like put on The Office or something yesterday, and so like she was like playing over in the corner, and I'm like, she just looked up and just done. Just went ape shit. I'm like,
because she saw you had changed the channel.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then just ran over crying, and I'm like, she's got it around her finger. It's not even close.
Yeah.
Favorite sport to watch? What's your go-to if you're gonna watch a sport?
Before this whole thing, I was really like last season. I watched a lot of basketball. My buddy Elio from Early Bird Coffee got me watching it more and more. Like, him and I would connect on game nights and watch the games. And I was never really into professional sports. Like, I was more into professional stuff like business and whatnot for the longest time. So watching the Raps, like, learning about the game, the sport, and the team, and then the league and all the other players was really great. And then they just happened to have a championship season, which didn't hurt. No. And then this year, like, I think I'm certain I'd watched every game up to when the league shut down. So yeah, definitely basketball.
They were a fun team to watch this year too.
I know. Like that winning streak was something. Their bench was just killing it, like plagued with injuries, but still like went on a 16-game win streak, I think.
Just how hard, it sounds stupid and weird to say, oh, they play hard, because it's very cliche, but that team plays hard. And in the NBA, it makes a big difference. There's other leagues like the NFL, everybody plays hard every night. But in the NBA, it's kind of like, there's possessions where guys take off. That team defensively,
the heart.
Yeah, they don't take anything off. It's really fun to watch them and talk about an organization that has marketed themselves, amazingly well. I love the We the North campaign. was like genius.
Groundbreaking. Yeah,
Yeah, that
absolutely
was
genius. And the
that
fact that they
was.
had that run to the championship, like it was just a perfect storm of like marketing and performance and sportsmanship and everything. It was incredible.
I'm just thinking
Yeah.
right now about the parade and the images from the parade and how just millions. It
2
was
million people, they said.
yeah, 2 million people right in that small area, and right now you can almost think to yourself, that feels so weird. It feels
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
weird that they, now you look out if you see like people within 10 feet of each other, you're like, what are they doing? What are they doing?
Yeah. 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 That's not okay. Get away.
No, that's not it. I even feel like when I'm watching TV, like I was watching The Office, and it's just like they're they're together. They're all huddled
Yeah.
around one computer. What the heck? They can't do that.
No doubt, man. It's a
uh,
strange time for sure.
and so yeah, somebody said the Twilight Zone episode that we're living, but in a sense, it's everything that we used to. It was so. It's weird now, but looking back on even an office meeting of 50 agents or whatever, 30
Yeah.
agents being in the same conference room, you're like, you can't do, it's that's normal. That's what's normal. And right now it's flipped on its head. So
Absolutely. I know. We just have to make the best of it and stay focused, stay positive, and stay in a routine. Like I think that's been one of the main things that's helped my wife and I and my family sort of keep our sanity, is like we're trying our best, and it's not nearly perfect. Like it's a challenge,
no,
but
yeah,
trying to keep some routine within the
yeah,
household. We started out with very strict ideas, as I think every family with young kids did. Like, we're dressed breakfast at 8:30, dressed by 9, like school time from 10:30 till noon, and that went out the window real quick. But I think like if you just keep a few things in order each day, it
yeah,
helps. And making sure you're checking in on everybody and checking in on the mental health of those that are close to you, because it's a
for
trying
sure,
time.
for
you
sure.
know
No, yeah, for me it was, you know, uh, we stopped doing our regular daily thing, and we've since said, okay, we have some time, some time limits. I don't say time limits, but at this time, I'm going to be doing some work. At this time, I'll be doing, and trying to get some things done to feel that sense of purpose. That was tough for me for the first
yeah.
week. And I'm like, I was sitting around more than I am now. And, I can't go out and show houses. I can't go out and meet with people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even in my job, there's good days and there's bad days ordinarily where it's like, I didn't accomplish anything today. I did the things that I'm supposed to do, but nothing clicked. I didn't schedule an appointment or whatever. Didn't sell a house, but versus other situations where other days where it's completely the other way around and everything just clicks and you feel that sense of purpose.
Yeah. Sorry, someone just walked in.
No
Thanks,
worries.
Caroline. Bye. Sorry about that. I just had
No,
somebody
no,
up in my office.
no worries at
But
all.
yeah,
Anyway,
I know what you're saying, man. Good
it's
days
getting
and bad
easier.
days. And yeah, man, things like this help break the monotony, keep everybody connected. And
100%.
I just want to shout out, like, if I can,
Absolutely.
one particular client, and they're actually like close friends of ours. It's
Mm-hmm.
Elio and Kate from Early Bird Coffee.
Mm-hmm.
These guys, their businesses, they in 1 year they've had exponential growth. Like they just
Huge.
found something in Woodstock that needed to happen, and they rolled up their sleeves. They made it happen, and I've been a close part of that. Helped build their website, helped with some marketing strategy, and most recently, like Elio called me immediately when he realized they had to shut down. He's like, "What can we do to like continue this?" And my suggestion, like, he wanted to put up a store somehow, so we built a e-commerce shop on their website, and like I can't even explain how well it's worked for them, and it makes me so happy to see like them thriving,
For sure.
during this time. And it was just a simple pivot, like it was probably 10 hours of work to get this
Mm.
shop up and running, and
Mm-hmm.
it's helped their business and their family maintain like through this time. And
Yep.
since then, like I'm working with Van Dyke's greenhouses just
Yep.
across the street from the dealership. Actually, he was the guy that called me earlier, and
Mm-hmm.
he's looking to do the same. They just want to bring their services to the customers and their products to the customers
For
however
sure.
they can. So
And these are helpful things. These are people, and so like, again, we go back to like not feeling like they're doing something wrong. You know, I still have my coffee every single day. We all need food. Those are two definite things where, you know, we have to find ways to get our food. These guys finding ways to supply it is just part of
right.
of what needs to happen. It's no different than putting a new location in a place where people can get to it. And those are two things where you talk about with early bird, that's going to live on. I don't think they're going to just shut down that online store when this is over.
No, it's evolution. It's like these businesses. It's something that when Elliot and I first talked about his website, like obviously I wanted to do like a coffee subscription service, and I was like, you
Mm-hmm.
got to do delivery and this, and this, and you know, he was conservative. He's like, one step at a time, Jamie. We'll kind of explore those avenues when the time comes. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's time for businesses to evolve, and it's as a someone in the digital marketing space for almost 10 years now. You know, I've been preaching things and suggesting things for years, and I understand, like being a business owner myself, like there's only so much you can do, there's only so much you can invest. So trust me, I understand when businesses don't jump on these ideas instantly
Mm-hmm.
and throw cash at problems like I would love them to. But seeing them evolve now, you know, that they have the time and they see the opportunity, it's like it's reassuring. And it's reassuring because I know that we'll come out of the other side better than we were today. You know what I mean? Like
No,
we'll come. Yeah.
there's no doubt about it. And I think even in our industry, people, you know, we're taking people through on FaceTime of houses and stuff,
Oh
and
yeah, that's awesome.
just whatever, right? And these are things that are going to last a long time, and we're going to probably do that. There might be a client one day that says, yeah, I can't come see that house today. My, you know, whatever is going on, I'll go through it, FaceTime it back. And maybe that's enough for you to say, okay, I'm going to make the trip tomorrow morning to see it.
Right.
And that
Like
saves that client more time or whatever.
yeah. It's innovation is born of necessity, and I'm so excited to see like the new ways we come up with to market our businesses. And
For sure.
you know, just saying like what you were just saying about doing like the walkthrough, you know, virtual open houses. Like I'm not seeing more of them today, but like I know that'll be a thing moving forward
Oh,
where
there's been some. There's
you're
people that
doing
have done
like,
it. Yep.
but like it's almost a no-brainer to hop on a live video, like schedule a live video, schedule a viewing party on Facebook. And because I hear from real estate clients, and you can attest to this, that like open houses aren't really most of the time what they could be or should be, right? Like you don't get the traffic you might want, but you know, why not, if you're there by yourself for 2 or 3 hours, like, yeah, just go live, and someone's
Mm-hmm.
going to hop on and be like, can I see the bathroom? Or like, does it
Or
have a
ask a
double shower in
question.
the bathroom?
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
and I think, and yeah, the
yeah,
only thing that'll change, obviously, from the open house side of things to get your client's house out there, it's a great idea. And then from the buyer's aspect, and just in having that trust, you know, so they might want their agent to go through just from a trust perspective to let them know, hey, do you see anything, or do you smell anything? There is things that about a house that you know, the camera only shows this part at a
right,
time. So if you don't, you know, if there's a trust issue where there's an issue where my eye is, and they kind of, you know,
yeah.
I'm not saying people would do that. There just is that ability where it's like, I want to feel it, touch it, see it, smell it. Where I still think is always going to be a part of our lives in sales. I think the car industry is
I
probably
don't think
similar.
that anything virtual will really take over the physical element, right? Like with open houses, especially, I think it's just an opportunity for exposure and
Introduction.
getting eyeballs, and that introduction, like someone's scrolling, like we know live videos get priority in the news feed. So whether they're following you and they get a notification when you go live, but it gives people that first look. And if they see something they like, they're going to reach out and want to see it in person. So
For sure.
my thing is like, why not? Right. Like,
it's not going to hurt anything. 100%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find this quote that I put on my Facebook. Let's see if it's here.
Okay. I got my thing up here.
Yeah,
I better not be.
so
Is it?
This quote is, our jobs as marketers are to understand how the customer wants to buy and help them to do so. Right. And that's more true now than ever, because before it was like we would only do what was within our grasp, what was within our limits as businesses, what we were comfortable with. But
That's
now
what I was going to say.
right.
It's also,
we
it's
were
not just
afraid to step out of our comfort zone.
Yeah,
And
and
now,
almost the reluctance to do so, whether it be because of comfort or because of, I don't want to say tradition is the wrong word, but because we've always done it this way.
right.
We don't do it that way. We do it this way because that's how we do it here at wherever the person is.
Right. And now it's like we're so, and I say we as, more
General.
the businesses that have been directly affected by this, but they're dying to get in front of their customers now, right? And now their main priority is like, okay, what can I do to make the journey seamless for my customer? As opposed to before, it was like, oh, I got a website, they'll find me, right? And you had to Google and you had to search and you had to find the business. The customer had to jump over like all these hurdles to get to your location or to find you online or to buy your product.
Yeah.
And now it's like, we're just saying, break down all the barriers, do whatever I can to make a sale.
Yeah.
Right?
What I'm excited about is with any of these innovations, if the local clientele does what, say, Dollar Shave Club did, right, where they kind of, or Airbnb did, the hotel industry should have came up with Airbnb, and Gillette should have come up with
Right.
That was, but they didn't, because we sell our stuff in the supermarkets, right? When the local when the local business on the corner of, Dundas and Huron kind of thing, comes up with a subscription service for delivering groceries or, I don't know, whatever,
Yeah.
toilet paper and essentials or flowers or stuff, and it's as easy as going on and saying what you want, or it comes on an annual or monthly or weekly schedule.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
for flowers.
Sure, when and all you have to do every month is go on there, and it sets it up as a regular
recurring subscription,
recurring thing for different flowers every month. But you can go in there and you can change it to upgrade your thing or something if you want to upgrade it for February, Valentine's Day or something.
Yeah,
whatever,
just disruption. Right? Like it's this is a time for disruption. Like who's gonna go the furthest to make things the easiest for the customer? Because that's our job as businesses and as marketers, is to find out how our customer wants to do business and meet them there.
For sure, right? Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. So, it's awesome, and I think we can end there. But like I said, we should do this more often. We should do some stuff where we talk about. I would love to. I think it'd be fun to pick
Marketing
a little.
Mondays.
Marketing Mondays, pick a little niche topic, a little really small, individual pieces, and let's go for it. I think it'd be
shed some light and help people
and learn.
Yeah, maybe help and learn and do what we can, man.
It'd be super fun.
Cool. Well, thanks for having me, man.
No, thank you for coming. Thanks for taking the time out, and all the best to your clients and your family.
Thanks. You too, man. Stay safe and keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks. Will do.